Admiral Taemin Kim stood on the bridge of his ship and watched the stars burn. Through the thick glass windows, he could see the orange glow of distant explosions. Another star system was dying in the endless war that had torn the galaxy apart for 300 years. "Sir, we are getting another message from the Galactic Mediation Assembly," said Lieutenant So-Young Park. She was young but smart, and Taemin trusted her with important news. Taemin nodded and walked to his command chair. The war between the Vorthak Empire and the Zalani Federation had been going on since before his grandfather was born. Every month more worlds burned. Every year more refugees ran from their homes with nothing but the clothes they wore. The message came through on the main screen. An alien with blue skin and forearms appeared. His name was Ambassador Keth Nor, and he looked tired. "Very tired, Admiral Kim," the alien said. "The Assembly has voted. We need human help. The war is killing everything we have built. Trade routes are gone. Billions are dead. Nothing we do can stop them from fighting." Taemin had heard this story many times. The Vorthak Empire was strong and used big guns and fast attacks. They had ruled half the galaxy for 1,000 years. The Zalani Federation was smart and used energy shields and careful plans. They controlled the other half. Both sides thought they were right. Both sides refused to stop fighting. "What do you want us to do?" Taemin asked. He knew humans were still new to space. They had only left Earth 50 years ago. Most aliens still called them the young species or the primitive newcomers. "We want you to try talking to them. Maybe they will listen to fresh voices," Ambassador Keth Nor said. But Taemin could see in his eyes that he did not really believe it would work. After the message ended, Taemin called his best officers to the meeting room. Captain Dongwoo Lee came first. He was the commander of the Iron Phoenix, Earth's newest and fastest ship. Dr. So-Young Park came next. She knew more about alien weapons than anyone else in the human fleet. "They want us to be peacemakers," Taemin told them. "But I do not think the Vorthak or Zalani care what we think." Captain Dongwoo shook his head. "Sir, I have studied their battles. They have been fighting the same way for hundreds of years. The Vorthak charge forward with everything they have. The Zalani build walls and wait. Neither side ever tries anything new." Dr. Park pulled up data on her computer. "Look at these numbers," she said. "In the last 50 years, they have fought over 2,000 battles. The Vorthak won about half. The Zalani won about half. But nothing changed. They just keep doing the same thing over and over." Taemin studied the battle reports. Something about the war felt wrong to him. It was like watching two old men argue about something they had forgotten long ago. They kept fighting because they had always been fighting? "Sir," Captain Dongwoo said quietly, "what if they do not want peace? What if they need this war?" That thought scared Taemin. He had seen war on Earth. Humans had fought terrible wars before they learned to work together. But even the worst human wars had ended. This galactic war seemed like it would never end. 3 days later, Taemin got orders from Earth. President Bora Shin wanted him to try diplomatic talks with both sides. The message was clear. Humanity would offer to help end the war, but they would not take sides. The first meeting was with Vorthak General Grak Thor. He was 8 feet tall with red skin and sharp teeth. He met Taemin on a space station near the war zone. "Human," General Grak Thor said in a deep voice, "why do you waste my time? This is not your fight. Go back to your small planet and play with your small ships." "The war is hurting everyone," Taemin said. "Maybe there is a way to end it that helps both sides." General Grak Thor laughed. It sounded like rocks falling. "There is only one way to end this war. Total victory. The Zalani must surrender or die. We have the strongest ships. We have the bravest soldiers. We will win." The meeting with Zalani Admiral Yithon was no better. She was tall and thin with silver skin and large eyes. She spoke in a soft voice, but her words were hard. "Admiral Kim," she said, "humans are children playing with toys they do not understand. This war is about honor and justice. The Vorthak are destroyers. They must be stopped. Our shields are strong. Our plans are perfect. We will outlast them." Both meetings ended the same way. Neither side wanted peace. Neither side would compromise. They both believed they would win if they just kept fighting long enough. Taemin returned to his ship feeling frustrated. He sent his report to Earth, but he knew what the answer would be. The human government would try a few more diplomatic talks, then give up. Humans would go back to their own space and let the galaxy burn. But that night, as Taemin looked at the stars, he had a different thought. What if diplomacy was not the answer? What if the only way to end this war was to change the rules completely? He called Dr. Park to his office. "Show me everything we know about how they fight," he said. For hours they studied battle data. The patterns were clear. The Vorthak always attacked the same way. The Zilani always defended the same way. Both sides had become predictable, sir, Dr. Park said slowly. I think they have forgotten how to adapt. They are so busy fighting each other that they have stopped learning. Taemin nodded. He was starting to understand something important. This was not really a war anymore. It was a ritual, a dance of death that both sides knew by heart. What would happen, he asked, if someone changed the music? The next morning, Taemin sent a message to Earth. It was not a request for more diplomacy. It was a request for something much more dangerous. He wanted permission to show the galaxy what human war machines could really do. In his message, he wrote, "The war cannot be stopped with words. Both sides are addicted to fighting. The only way to save the galaxy is to break their addiction. And the only way to break an addiction is to make the cost too high to pay." 3 days later, the answer came back from President Shin. One word: approved. Admiral Taemin Kim smiled for the first time in weeks. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had unified their own planet through war. Sometimes the only way to create peace was to be more frightening than war itself. General Hyunwoo Choi had never seen anything like the war room on Earth's moon. Hundreds of screens showed star maps, battle reports, and alien ship movements. The best military minds from every human nation worked together in one giant room. All of them had the same job: figure out how to end a war that had lasted 3 centuries. "Show me the Vorthak attack patterns again," Hyunwoo said to his assistant, Commander Jiun Song. She was the best spy humanity had ever trained. For 6 months she had been sneaking around alien space stations learning their secrets. Jiun pulled up a video on the main screen. It showed a typical Vorthak battle. Hundreds of red warships flew straight at the enemy in perfect lines. Their big guns fired over and over. They never stopped. They never turned away. They either won by breaking through or they died trying. "They have used the same plan for 200 years, Jiun said. "Charge forward, shoot everything, hope the enemy breaks first. It works about half the time." Dr. Kyung-ho Nam looked up from his computer. He was Earth's best expert on alien thinking. For months he had been studying how the Vorthak and Zilani minds worked. "I think I understand why they fight this way," he said. "The Vorthak believe that running away is shameful. Their culture says a warrior must always attack, never defend, never retreat." Hyunwoo nodded. He had read the reports. Vorthak children learned to fight before they learned to read. Their greatest heroes were soldiers who died in battle. Their greatest shame was living through defeat. "What about the Zilani?" he asked. Dr. Nam switched to a different video. This one showed a Zilani fleet. Their ships were white and smooth. They moved in careful patterns like dancers. When the Vorthak attacked, the Zilani ships formed walls of energy shields. They waited for the enemy to get tired, then struck back with precise laser beams. "The Zilani think war is like a math problem," Dr. Nam explained. "They believe there is always a perfect solution. They study every battle for years before they fight. They plan everything, but they never change their plans even when something unexpected happens." Commander Jiun had more information. "Sir, I spent 3 weeks on a Zilani research station. They have computers that can predict Vorthak moves with 90% accuracy. But when I asked what they would do if the Vorthak tried something new, they just stared at me. They cannot imagine the enemy changing." Hyunwoo was starting to see the real problem. Both sides had become too specialized. The Vorthak only knew how to attack. The Zilani only knew how to defend. They were like 2 keys that only fit each other's locks. "Show me what happens when they fight other enemies," he said. Ji-un brought up older battle records. Years ago, before the big war started, both sides had fought different alien races. The results were shocking. The Vorthak lost every battle where the enemy did not fight back directly. The Zilani lost every battle where the enemy did not attack their shields first. They are helpless against anything unexpected, Hyunwoo realized. They have forgotten how to adapt, Dr. Nam agreed. In human history, we call this the dinosaur problem. A species becomes so good at one thing that it cannot survive when conditions change. The Vorthak and Zilani have become dinosaurs. That afternoon, General Hyunwoo called President Bo-ra-shin on Earth. The president looked tired. The whole galaxy was asking humans to fix a problem that seemed impossible. "Madam President," Hyunwoo said, "I have good news and bad news. The good news is we can end this war. The bad news is we will have to become the thing they fear most. President Shin raised an eyebrow. Explain. Both sides fight in predictable ways. They have trained for hundreds of years to counter each other. But they have never faced an enemy like humans. We change our tactics every battle. We learn from every mistake. We adapt. The president was quiet for a long moment. What are you suggesting? Operation Thunderbreak. We hit both sides at the same time. Not to conquer them, but to show them their way of fighting is obsolete. We force them to evolve or surrender. President Shin looked uncomfortable. That sounds like we would be starting a war to end a war. Sometimes, Hyunwoo said carefully, a controlled fire is the only way to stop a wildfire. 2 days later, Commander Ji-woon brought disturbing news. Her spies had discovered something horrible. Both the Vorthak and Zilani economies depended on the war. Weapon factories employed billions of aliens. Military leaders controlled their governments. Peace would mean unemployment, chaos, and revolution, sir, Ji-woon said quietly. I do not think they can stop fighting even if they want to. Their whole civilization is built on war. Dr. Nam had been studying this problem too. It is like a drug addiction, he said. They need war to function. But the war is killing them slowly. They are trapped, Hyunwoo felt sick. The galaxy's greatest war was not really about territory or resources or honor. It was about fear. Both sides were afraid of what would happen if they stopped fighting. That night, he could not sleep. He walked through the human base on the moon and looked at Earth through the windows. His home planet was blue and green and peaceful. But he remembered the history lessons. Humans had fought terrible wars too. World War I, World War II, nuclear weapons. Millions dead, but humans had learned to stop. They had built peace from the ashes of war. Maybe they could teach the galaxy how to do the same thing. The next morning brought urgent news. A massive battle was starting in the Kepler system. Both sides were sending their biggest fleets. Millions would die in the next few days. This is our chance, Hyunwoo told his officers. While they are busy fighting each other, we can study their tactics up close. Jason, take your best spies and get as close as you can. I want to know everything about how they think in battle. Commander Ji-woon nodded. Yes, sir. But what if they detect us? Then we improvise. That is what humans do best. 3 days later, Ji-woon returned with incredible intelligence. She had watched the entire battle from a hidden observation post. The results were exactly what the humans had predicted. The Vorthak charged forward in straight lines. The Zilani formed defensive walls. Thousands of ships were destroyed. Nothing changed, but Ji-woon had noticed something else. Sir, both sides have started using automated systems. Their ships are controlled by computers now, not pilots. The computers follow the same programs every time. They cannot be creative. They cannot surprise anyone. Dr. Nam was excited by this news. That means they have become even more predictable. A human child could defeat them with the right strategy. General Hyunwoo made his decision. He sent a message to Admiral Taemin Kim in the war zone. The enemy has become a machine. Time to show them what human creativity can do. Operation Thunderbreak is approved. May the galaxy forgive us for what we are about to become. In the depths of the moon base, human engineers began preparing weapons that no alien had ever seen, not because they were more powerful, but because they were unpredictable. Human war machines did not follow programs. They learned, they adapted, they surprised. The galaxy was about to discover why Earth's greatest military saying was simple. No plan survives contact with the enemy. But humans survive contact with any plan. General Hyunwoo looked at the star charts one last time. In a few weeks, human ships would enter the war zone. The 300-year stalemate was about to end. He just hoped the galaxy would survive what came next. Colonel Woo Jin Kang crouched behind a broken wall on the Vorthak military base. His soldiers were invisible in their black armor, waiting for his signal. Above them, alien guards walked back and forth, completely unaware that human war machines had already surrounded their most important weapons facility. Ghost Leader to all units. Woo Jin whispered into his communicator. Remember, we are not here to kill everyone. We are here to send a message. Hit fast, break their toys, and disappear. On the other side of the galaxy, Captain Yoon-ji-yu was doing the same thing to a Zilani shield generator station. Her giant metal robot suit was hidden in the shadows of a mountain. The robot was 20 feet tall and covered in weapons, but it moved as quietly as a mouse. Titanfall 1 to command, Yoon-ji reported. Zilani defenses are exactly where our spies said they would be. They have not changed their guard patterns in 50 years. This will be too easy. Admiral Sung Ho Lim watched both missions from his command ship, the Ragnarok. His fleet was hiding in empty space between star systems. Human ships were painted black and covered with technology that made them invisible to alien sensors. No one in the galaxy knew they were there. "All units, this is Admiral Lim," he said into his communicator. "Operation Thunderbreak begins in 60 seconds. Remember, we are not fighting a war. We are ending one. Hit both sides at the same time. Make them understand that their old ways of fighting are finished." The first target was a Vorthak weapon, factory on the planet Cronus 7. Colonel Wu Jin and his ghost. Battalion had been watching it for 3 days. The factory made the giant cannons that Vorthak ships used in their frontal attacks. Without these weapons, the Vorthak could not fight their traditional way. Now, Wu Jin whispered, his soldiers moved like shadows. They climbed walls, slipped through ventilation systems, and disabled security cameras without making a sound. The Vorthak guards never saw them coming. In 15 minutes, the humans had taken control of the entire factory. But they did not kill the workers. Instead, they gathered all the aliens in the main assembly area. Wu Jin stepped forward and removed his helmet. The Vorthak stared at him. Most had never seen a human before. "We are not your enemy," Wu Jin said in perfect Vorthak language. "But your weapons are. This factory has built machines that have killed millions of people. Today that stops." He pressed a button on his wrist. All around the factory, small devices began beeping. The aliens looked confused and frightened. "Those are not bombs," Wu Jin explained. "They are nanomachines. In 10 minutes, every weapon in this factory will turn to dust. Your buildings will not be damaged. Your people will not be hurt, but your ability to make tools of war will end today." The Vorthak factory supervisor, a huge alien with red skin and sharp teeth, stepped forward. "Human, you cannot do this." "We have been making weapons for 1,000 years. That," Wu Jin said quietly, "is exactly the problem." At the same moment, Captain Yunji was attacking the Zilani shield station. Her robot suits smashed through their energy barriers like they were made of paper. The Zilani had spent centuries perfecting shields that could stop Vorthak weapons, but they had never imagined an enemy that could simply walk through their defenses. "Impossible," shouted the Zilani commander as Yunji's robot appeared in his control room. "Our shields are perfect. Our calculations show that nothing can penetrate them." Yunji's voice came through the robot's speakers. "Your calculations were based on fighting the Vorthak, but we are not the Vorthak. We do not charge straight forward into your shields. We go around them. We go under them. We find the one weakness you never thought to protect." She pointed to the main shield generator. "Your shields protect against energy weapons from the outside. But what happens when someone gets inside and uses a simple metal hammer?" The Zilani stared in horror as Yunji's robot raised a giant hammer and smashed their most advanced technology with a tool that was thousands of years old. Admiral Lim was coordinating 12 similar attacks across both empires. His ships appeared without warning, struck their targets, and vanished before either side could respond. In 6 hours, the humans had destroyed or disabled the most important military facilities of both the Vorthak Empire and the Zilani Federation. But the most shocking attack came at the Battle of Antares Prime. A massive space battle was already happening when Admiral Lim's fleet appeared. Thousands of Vorthak and Zilani ships were shooting at each other in their usual predictable patterns. "This is Admiral Lim to all alien vessels," he broadcast on every communication channel. "You have been fighting the same battle for 300 years. Today we are going to show you what you have been doing wrong." The human fleet was much smaller than either alien force, but their ships moved in ways that confused both sides. Instead of flying in straight lines like the Vorthak, or forming defensive walls like the Zilani, the humans flew in complex patterns that seemed random but were actually carefully planned. "Swarm protocol activated," Admiral Lim ordered. Thousands of tiny robot ships flew out of the human vessels. They were no bigger than cars, but they were fast and smart. Each robot ship could think for itself and coordinate with the others. The aliens had never seen anything like them. The Vorthak tried to shoot the robot ships with their big guns, but the robots were too small and moved too fast. The Zilani tried to block them with energy shields, but the robots simply went around the shields or found tiny gaps to slip through. In minutes, the robot swarm had disabled the weapons on hundreds of alien ships. They did not destroy the vessels or kill the crews. They just made it impossible for either side to keep fighting. Attention Vorthak and Zalani commanders, Admiral Lim broadcast. Your weapons are offline. Your ships are helpless. You have two choices. Surrender to us or surrender to each other. But the fighting stops now. General Grakthor, the Vorthak commander, was furious. This is impossible. No one can defeat the Vorthak military machine. Admiral Yithan, the Zalani leader, was equally shocked. Our defenses are scientifically perfect. This should not be happening. Admiral Lim's voice was calm but firm. Your defenses were perfect for fighting each other. But you forgot the first rule of war. The enemy gets a vote. And today, humanity voted to change the rules. What happened next surprised everyone, including the humans. Instead of surrendering, the Vorthak and Zalani fleets stopped shooting at each other and turned their remaining weapons toward the human ships. So be it, Admiral Lim said. We hoped you would be smart enough to learn from this lesson. But if you want to see what human war machines can really do, we are happy to teach you. He activated a new protocol that even his own officers had never seen before. Berserker mode engaged. All units, show them why Earth unified through conquest. The human ships changed completely. They stopped moving in careful patterns and began attacking like wild animals. But these were wild animals with the intelligence of supercomputers. They predicted every alien move before it happened. They turned the enemy's own tactics against them. They fought like 10 different alien species at once, switching styles every few minutes. Within an hour, both alien fleets had been completely defeated, not destroyed. The humans were careful not to kill more people than necessary. But every alien ship was disabled. Every alien commander was captured. And every alien soldier understood that they had just met an enemy unlike anything they had ever imagined. As the battle ended, Admiral Lim broadcast one final message to the galaxy. This war has lasted 300 years because both sides forgot how to adapt. Today that changes. Humanity offers you a choice. Learn to evolve, or we will evolve you ourselves. In the depths of space, more human fleets were moving toward the core systems of both empires. The galaxy's deadliest war was about to become something much more frightening, a lesson in why humans had become the masters of their own planet. The age of predictable warfare was ending. The age of human adaptation had begun. Supreme Admiral Jeho Yun felt the moment when everything changed. Through the neural web, he sensed the alien fleet preparing their ultimate weapon. The Omega device could turn entire solar systems into radioactive waste. In desperation, the Vorthak and Zalani were ready to commit genocide rather than admit defeat. All human forces, Jeho broadcast across the galaxy. This is Supreme Admiral Yun. The enemy has chosen to escalate beyond conventional warfare. We are now authorized to use Endgame Protocol. On Earth, President Bora Shin watched the space battle through quantum sensors. She knew what Endgame Protocol meant. Humanity would stop holding back. They would show the galaxy why Earth had been unified through conquest, not diplomacy. God help us all, she whispered. In the Nexus system, where 3 dying stars cast red light on the greatest battle in galactic history, General Dayun Ryu prepared her soldiers for the final assault. Her fleet was hidden behind a gas giant, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Remember, she told her officers, we are not here to rule the galaxy. We are here to save it from itself, even if they hate us forever for what we are about to do. Diplomat Hie Jin Che was aboard Admiral Yun's flagship, ready to negotiate the surrender terms. She had studied both alien cultures for years. She knew that after today, neither empire would ever be the same. Sir, she said to the admiral, once we activate Endgame Protocol, there will be no going back. The galaxy will see us as conquerors, not peacemakers. Admiral Yun nodded grimly. Better they fear us and live in peace than love us and die in war. The alien Omega weapon began charging. It was a massive device built into a moon-sized space station. Energy readings showed it would be ready to fire in 10 minutes. When it fired, every human ship in the system would be vaporized instantly. Endgame Protocol activated, Admiral Yun announced. All human forces, prepare for total war. What happened next would be remembered as the moment humanity revealed its true nature. For months, human ships had been fighting with restraint, using only conventional weapons and tactics. But humans had not survived Earth's brutal history by being gentle. The first sign was the human ships themselves. They began changing shape, unfolding like metal flowers. Hidden weapons emerged from secret compartments. Extra engines fired to life. The humans had been fighting, with only a fraction of their true capabilities. Conversion. Bombs armed, reported Captain Dongwu. Lee, target all alien automated systems. The conversion bombs were humanity's most diabolical invention. They did not destroy enemy technology. Instead, they reprogrammed it. Enemy weapons turned against their creators. Enemy shields protected human ships instead of alien ones. Thousands of conversion bombs spread across both alien fleets. Within minutes, Vorthak cannons were shooting at Vorthak ships. Zilani shields were protecting human vessels. The aliens' own technology had turned against them. Impossible! General Grakthor screamed as his own flagship's weapons targeted his command bridge. Technology cannot be turned against its creators. Human technology can, Admiral Taman replied over the communication channel. We designed our weapons to learn and adapt. Your weapons were designed to follow orders. The difference is everything. But the most terrifying moment came when the aliens realized what the neural web really was. Every human ship, every human soldier, every human base was connected by quantum entanglement. They shared thoughts instantly across any distance. They coordinated as a single organism spanning thousands of star systems. Dr. Minho Bay, watching from Earth, felt the network reach its full potential. 50 billion human minds thinking as one. The collective intelligence of the entire species focused on a single goal: ending the war forever. Neural web at maximum capacity, he reported. We are no longer just fighting them. We are thinking faster than they can react. The human fleet began moving in perfect synchronization. Every ship knew exactly what every other ship was doing. They fought like the fingers of a giant hand, each part serving the whole. The aliens could not predict their moves because the humans were not making individual decisions. They were expressions of a single, vast intelligence. Admiral Yeath An tried to rally her forces. All Zilani ships retreat to defensive formation 7 Alpha. We can still... Her words were cut off as human ships appeared inside her defensive formation. They had not flown around her shields. They had simply calculated the exact moment when gaps would appear and moved through them with perfect timing. General Da-Un Ryu led the final assault on the Omega weapon. Her fleet had been waiting in hidden positions throughout the system. As the alien superweapon prepared to fire, human ships emerged from behind planets, moons, and asteroids. All units target the Omega device, Da-Un commanded, but do not destroy it. We need it intact for the demonstration. Human engineers had studied the weapon through spy satellites. They knew exactly how it worked and exactly how to stop it without destroying the surrounding space station. In 5 minutes, they had seized control of the galaxy's most dangerous weapon. This is General Ryu to all alien forces, Da-Un broadcast. Your ultimate weapon is now under human control. We could use it to destroy your homeworlds, but we will not. Instead, we will show you why this weapon should never have been built. She aimed the Omega device at an empty area of space and fired. The weapon released enough energy to sterilize a dozen planets. Stars flickered as the energy wave passed through them. The demonstration was clear. Humanity now possessed the power to destroy entire civilizations. But instead of threatening genocide, Admiral Yoon did something that shocked both alien empires. Attention all Vorthak and Zilani forces, he broadcast. This war is over. Not because we have defeated you, but because continuing to fight serves no purpose. We now control your weapons, your ships, and your ability to wage war. You have 3 choices: surrender unconditionally, negotiate a peace treaty, or watch us dismantle your military capabilities piece by piece. Diplomat He Jin-chai began broadcasting surrender terms on all frequencies. The conditions were harsh but not cruel. Both empires would be allowed to keep their governments and territories, but their military capabilities would be permanently reduced. They would be forbidden from building weapons of mass destruction, and they would accept human oversight of any future conflicts. You cannot do this, General Grakthor raged. The Vorthak Empire has ruled half the galaxy for 1,000 years. You ruled half the galaxy, Admiral Yoon corrected. Today, humanity rules the part of the galaxy that decides whether civilizations live or die. And we have decided that your war ends now. The final battle lasted 18 hours. By the end, both alien fleets had been completely neutralized, not destroyed. The humans were careful to minimize casualties, but every alien ship was disabled. Every alien weapon was under human control, and every alien commander understood that resistance was futile. As the shooting stopped, an eerie quiet fell over the Nexus system. For the first time in 300 years, no one was fighting. The war that had consumed the galaxy was over, but the victory came with a terrible price. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched the battle through quantum sensors. They saw humanity defeat the two greatest military powers in galactic history. They saw human technology turn alien weapons against their creators. They saw the neural web coordinate attacks across impossible distances. The galaxy had a new master, and that master was a species that had unified their own planet through war, had learned to fight as a single organism, and had just proven they could defeat any enemy through pure adaptation and intelligence. Admiral Taemin Kim stood on the bridge of his ship and looked at the defeated alien fleets. Through the neural web, he could feel the emotions of every human in the galaxy. Pride, relief, and sadness mixed together. "We did what we came to do," he said to his officers. "The war is over. The galaxy is safe," but Captain Dongwu Li looked troubled. "Sir, they will never forgive us for this. We may have ended their war, but we have made them all afraid of us." Admiral Taemin nodded slowly. "Fear is not what we wanted. But sometimes fear is the only thing that prevents greater tragedies. The Vorthak and Zalani were ready to use weapons that could have killed billions of people. Now they cannot." Diplomat Hyejin Che was already receiving messages from neutral civilizations. Some offered alliance with humanity. Others begged for protection from human expansion. All of them wanted to know the same thing. What did Earth want from the galaxy? "We want peace," Admiral Taemin said when asked. "But we have learned that sometimes peace must be enforced. Sometimes the only way to stop a war is to become more frightening than war itself." In the years that followed, humanity would become the galaxy's reluctant police force. Human fleets would patrol former battlefields, ensuring that the 3-century war could never resume. Human diplomats would mediate disputes between alien civilizations. Human technology would prevent any species from developing weapons capable of galactic destruction. The galaxy would have peace, but it would be a cold peace, enforced by a species that had proven it could adapt to any threat and overcome any enemy. As Admiral Taemin Kim recorded his final report, he wrote, "We came to save the galaxy from an endless war." General In-Ho John stood in the command center of the Earth Defense Station and watched the galaxy declare war on humanity. The biggest screen showed star maps covered in red warning lights. Both the Vorthak Empire and the Zalani Federation had done something no one thought possible. They had stopped fighting each other and formed an alliance against Earth. "Sir," said Commander Eugene Moon, "we are detecting movement from both empires. They are gathering every ship, every weapon, every soldier they have. Combined fleet size is estimated at over 50,000 vessels." In-Ho nodded calmly. He had expected this. Humans had humiliated both alien civilizations. They had shown the galaxy that the two greatest military powers were actually weak and predictable. Pride demanded revenge. "How many ships do we have?" In-Ho asked. 3,000, sir. But our ships are smaller, and our crews are less experienced in large space battles. Dr. Min-Ho Bei looked up from his computer station. He was the creator of humanity's most secret weapon, the neural web. It connected every human soldier, ship, and base into one giant thinking machine. "General," Dr. Bei said, "the numbers look bad, but numbers do not tell the whole story. The aliens are still thinking like two separate armies that happen to be working together. We are thinking like one organism with 50 billion brain cells." In-Ho understood. For months, human engineers had been installing quantum communicators in every piece of military equipment. When the neural web was active, every human fighter pilot could see through the eyes of every human spy. Every human ship could use the knowledge of every human scientist. The entire human military became a single, learning intelligence. "Dr. Bei, how long until the neural web is fully online?" 12 hours, sir. But I should warn you, once we activate it, there is no going back. Every human in the military will be connected. They will share thoughts, emotions, even dreams. Some people cannot handle it. Commander Yujin had been part of the neural web test program. She remembered the experience. "Sir, it is like becoming part of something bigger than yourself. You are still you, but you are also everyone else." Some soldiers love it, others go insane. In-Ho made his decision. "Activate the neural web. Send the activation codes to all human forces. And Commander Yujin, Initiate the Phoenix Protocol. Yu-Jin looked surprised. The Phoenix Protocol was humanity's most desperate strategy. It was based on an ancient Earth legend about a bird that burned itself to death and was reborn stronger from the ashes. Sir, are you sure? The Phoenix Protocol means we intentionally let the enemy destroy some of our forces. We use our losses to learn their weaknesses. Yes, Inho said firmly. The aliens want to destroy us with overwhelming force. Let them try. Every ship they destroy will teach us how to destroy 10 of theirs. 3 days later, the combined alien fleet arrived at Kepler's Edge, a star system that humans had chosen as their battleground. The alien armada was the largest military force in galactic history. Vortak battleships bristled with massive cannons. Zelani cruisers gleamed with energy shields. Together they darkened the stars. Admiral Tai Min Kim commanded the human defense fleet from his flagship. Around him, his officers worked with mechanical precision. But their eyes had a strange, distant look. They were seeing through the neural web, sharing the vision of every human in the galaxy. Admiral, reported Captain Dongwu Li. The alien fleet is exactly as large as our spies predicted. They are using standard formation Alpha 7 for the Vorthak and defensive pattern Omega for the Zelani. Their battle plan is completely predictable. Dr. So Young Park was monitoring alien communications. Sir, they are arguing about tactics. The Vorthak want to charge straight at us. The Zelani want to surround us slowly. They cannot agree on a strategy. Admiral Taemin smiled. Through the neural web he could feel the confidence of every human soldier. They were outnumbered 17-1, but they were not afraid. Fear came from the unknown. But humans had studied their enemies for months. There was nothing unknown about this battle. All ships, this is Admiral Kim. Execute Phoenix Protocol Phase 1. Let them come to us. The human fleet spread out in what looked like a weak defensive formation. The aliens saw this as proof that humanity was scared and desperate. General Grakthor, commanding the Vorthak forces, ordered an immediate attack. Charge! He roared over the communication channels. Show these weak mammals the power of Vorthak fury. Admiral Yith An, leading the Zelani ships, was more careful. Maintain defensive formations. Advance slowly. Use our shields to protect the Vorthak while they attack. It was a good plan. It should have worked. Against any normal enemy, it would have been unstoppable. But humans were not normal enemies. As the alien fleet charged forward, human ships began dying. Vorthak cannons punched through human armor. Zelani energy beams melted human hulls. In the first hour of battle, humanity lost 300 ships. But something strange was happening. Every time a human ship was destroyed, the other human ships seemed to get smarter. They dodged attacks that should have been impossible to avoid. They found weaknesses in alien defenses that should have been invisible. What is happening? General Grakthor demanded as his kill rate began dropping. The humans should be getting weaker, not stronger. Dr. Minho Bay was watching the battle from Earth through the neural web. He could feel the pain of every human death, but he could also feel the knowledge those deaths provided. Each destroyed ship taught the network something new about alien tactics. Phase 2, he broadcast to all human forces. Adaptive Response Pattern 17. Use what they taught us. The human fleet suddenly changed tactics. Instead of fighting like humans, they began fighting like a mixture of every alien species they had ever studied. Some ships used Vorthak aggression. Others used Zelani precision. But they also used techniques from 12 other alien civilizations that neither empire had fought before. The aliens were completely confused. They had prepared to fight humans, but the humans kept changing into different enemies every few minutes. Impossible! Admiral Yith An shouted. They are using Krathan battle formations, but the Krathan Empire died out 200 years ago. Commander Yu-Jin was piloting her ship through a formation of Zelani cruisers. Through the neural web, she could feel the tactical knowledge of human historians who had studied ancient alien battles. She flew her ship exactly like a Krathan warrior from centuries past. The Zelani shields were designed to stop modern weapons, not ancient tactics. Yu-Jin's ship slipped through their defenses and destroyed 5 enemy vessels before they understood what had happened. All across the battlefield, human ships were doing similar things. They fought like ghosts of dead civilizations, using tactics that should have been forgotten, but were preserved in human databases. Phase 3, General Inho broadcast. Show them the future of war. Human ships began linking together in ways the aliens had never seen. When one ship was damaged, others immediately covered its weaknesses. When one ship discovered something new about the enemy, every other ship instantly knew it too. The humans fought like a single creature with 3,000 bodies. They shared damage, shared knowledge, and shared strength. When the aliens destroyed one part of the human fleet, the other parts immediately adapted to prevent the same attack from working again. After 6 hours of battle, something impossible had happened. The aliens still outnumbered the humans 10 to 1, but they were losing. Their predictable tactics had been countered. Their advanced technology had been matched. Their greatest advantage, superior numbers, meant nothing against an enemy that learned faster than they could kill. General Grakthor and Admiral Yithon held an emergency meeting via communication link. Both alien leaders were desperate and angry. "These humans are not natural," Grakthor growled. "No species learns this fast. No army adapts this quickly." "Their technology is impossible," Yithon agreed. "They are connected somehow. They share information instantly across thousands of light years. It violates the laws of physics." Neither alien understood that they were fighting something completely new in galactic history, a unified species. Every other civilization in the galaxy was divided by politics, religion, or territory, but humanity had learned to work together as one organism. "We have one chance," Admiral Yithon said. "We must use the Omega weapon." General Grakthor hesitated. The Omega weapon was a device that could destroy entire star systems. Both empires had agreed never to use it, because it would make large areas of space uninhabitable for thousands of years. "If we use that weapon," Grakthor said, "we will be no better than the ancient destroyers. The whole galaxy will turn against us." "The whole galaxy is already turning against us," Yithon replied. "These humans have shown everyone that we are weak. If we do not destroy them now, we will lose everything we have built." As the alien leaders debated genocide, Admiral Taman was preparing humanity's final surprise. Through the neural web, he could feel the determination of every human in the galaxy. They were ready for whatever came next. "All units," he broadcast, "prepare for Phase 4. If they want to see how dangerous humanity can be, let us show them why Earth's children inherited the stars."